Welcome back. It's the Goal Guy again. This episode brings together the powerful perspectives of Mr. Theo Clarke, Elliot Wise, and Aaron Peters. Three people who seriously know what they're talking about. You'll hear real lessons on growth, online business, and what it takes to build something meaningful. You're going to love this one. And as always, like, follow, and step up.
Yeah, age is a blessing and it's a curse. The older you become, the more you realize what you don't know. But one thing you do tend to do, for those that are blessed enough, is really start to realize what is important. And I'm happy you're seeing that. 30s is a weird age that does start to change a little bit. You start thinking about family. You haven't got kids yet, right?
Next year, hopefully.
Okay.
God willing.
That will change everything again. And then all of a sudden, the transition from an entrepreneur for me was very difficult because, define entrepreneur. Okay, I think it's someone that builds a life through business that, means they can live how they want to live. And that does involve a certain level of selfishness and drive to get to that point. And then all of a sudden you have this little thing that is more attention grabbing and valuable and important than you, your wife, or anyone else on planet Earth. And then everything in your life then shifts for that drive, not for your own drive, and you realize what it was all about. So the fact you're already getting to that point is great. And I wish more people would have the light bulb moment of that earlier on, but they don't. Some lessons in life you have to learn on your own.
I think you go from being admittedly selfish as an entrepreneur to becoming selfless when you have the children, the family, it's all that matters. And as you said, you do things, and I think your mannerisms change. Your ethics are still the same because you have that originally, but the way you do things and why you do things, I think, changes. And it is about having that security, as you said, and giving them, and you're responsible for these new things.
One of the great things that kids do, I believe, if you're a good parent, and other people that aren't parents can still create this framework, is you become accountable for your actions because your kids will copy and mimic everything you do.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're swearing less. You are careful at doing things that your kids might see negatively, and all of a sudden you question yourself, if this isn't good for my kids, why am I doing it? That's a very powerful tool. And even if you haven't got kids, you should still frame it that way. If I had children and I was acting in this way and doing these things, would I be happy for my kids to see me doing them? Probably not, with half the stuff that you're doing. Okay, it begs the question, why are you doing them then? And then when you have that anchor, you suddenly become aware much more of your actions and what you're doing. And providing you have the emotional control to lean into those changes, you will become better for it.
Yeah, it sounds like, and I can only speak on, the way you both describe it, almost just like an added layer of accountability and responsibility. And I guess in some sense is a reflection, like you say, of they're going to mimic the things that you're doing. So again, it just pushes you to always be and present yourself as the best version of yourself.
It's like what you said earlier, it's you versus you. You're competitive, and I never looked at it like that. You are accountable to your kids without even thinking about it. It's a great analogy, because everything you do, you're actually looking at it from a bird's eye view, right? You're looking out in. Normally it's just, we're so focused on the task at hand. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Well, I say that now. I'm sure there'll be times where I'm pulling my hair out. I'm sure.
Lack of sleep, for sure.
Yeah, but Elliot, I know your day-to-day used to be, well, I say used to be, I'm only saying because it's been a few years since we spoke, but very sort of structured. You'd get up really early to get some work done, to then, see your children in the morning, set them up for the day. And I think you said something, you always want your face to be the first one they see in the morning and the one they see before bed, So how do you, not necessarily fit in work around family life, but you are very entrepreneurial, you've achieved a lot of fantastic things and you kind of keep pushing. So maybe you could talk about like your day-to-day, what you're working on in e-commerce right now, the stuff you're doing with AI, and what your day-to-day looks like.
Life's got real fun recently, real fun. So e-commerce is going through an absolutely monumental change positively. It's a shift that's been very much needed because it's been very stagnant with Amazon FBA, with the standard Shopify marketing methods. And with the addition of some new amazing tools, or I suppose technology, not just tools, in artificial intelligence. Now I'm involved in both. And one of the amazing things that we now have as entrepreneurs is platforms, i.e. social platforms, and AI, which for an e-commerce owner can absolutely dominate. So up until recently, you will attest, we've had Amazon FBA, which is kind of like your big shopping market platform. If you didn't really want to be particularly hands-on with the marketing and selling, you could put it on there and pay Amazon ungodly amounts of commission. Then you had your Shopify side where you're running Google ads, Meta ads, TikTok ads, whatever you're doing, influencer marketing. And we've had the birth of what I now class as social shopping. So TikTok Live has absolutely changed the e-commerce game, because as with everything else in life, we want everything real time. We want everything personalized. We want to go on a landing page and see a product that we're interested in buying, but rather than see a static image, we want to see someone live demonstrating that thing and have a conversation with that person. TikTok Shop's now done that. And it's changed absolutely everything. So as of late, I was very involved in the mentorship space for ecom, but I realized that was actually less advantageous for me rather than actually focusing on this new shift, which is creating UGC content with creators to apply to both TikTok shop brands and also Shopify brands. It's the best play ever. So I have been training UGC-based creators to create content that is real, that is authentic, that is something that they would be using in day-to-day life to demonstrate products and sell through TikTok shop and then maneuver into Shopify. The shift that's happened now is that you can use organic marketing to test before you run paid, because the algorithms have changed such that, especially with TikTok, we have this unbelievable ability to test a ton of content relatively inexpensively, because it doesn't matter if you're a huge influencer or a micro influencer. If the content is good, it will go anyway. So you could get affiliates, which you don't even pay. They get paid when they get affiliate commission for you, creating you bucket loads of content, which then you can take winning content from and then run as paid, because you know it's already proven and tested and you've got money coming in from it. That's been game changer for me. And that's before we've even added an AI. So to your point, what have I been doing? I've been taking this model and building value and then approaching existing e-com businesses and buying equity or getting partnership deals, because I can take a brand that's doing 50K a month up to 150, 200K just by bringing in the value that I have. And that's the play.
Yeah.
And then selling in 1.5 to 2 years is like a rinse repeat.
Yeah, it's a really interesting model, and I know we were talking about it a little bit earlier. And it's something that even interests myself. I think the game's moving so fast, so quickly, that it's just knowing the levers to pull, and these new levers aren't the same as what they used to be, or they've been what seems to be adapted in another way with a new platform, or by additionally leveraging AI on top of what you're doing. So there's a lot of different moving pieces. And I think the thing that you're focusing on makes sense. I know I watched a YouTube video and you were doing the TikTok lives yourself, right? And you were talking on them and getting all kinds of crazy reach and views and comments as well. So you've almost, would you say that's where you got the idea from? Is that where it stemmed from, when you were kind of doing it yourself for your own brand, and then started doing it for e-com as well? Or?
I'll say this right now, live is the future of social media, which will transition into VR. Everyone wants to see everything live. That's why if you look at streamers,
I was just going to say, I guess we're seeing this at the moment with the in real life streamers, right? They blow up, right? They're like, these guys get huge.
Right, so I'm relatively well known in Bulgaria, right? So like I have the kind of photos, everything on the street. I thought, I'm big dog there. Then what's his name? I Show Speed rocks up in Bulgaria. Like fucking, it's like Ronaldo just worked it out. I'm like, the guy just streams on. Yeah, granted, he's obviously a good entertainer, but this guy's been around for 5 minutes. I'm like, that's the power of streaming. It's because people can build a personal connection with an influencer that creates a bond so much deeper than static content. And they feel like they get to know them. They can also speak to them. You now have direct access to your potential idols, people that you hate. Doesn't matter who it is. You can now have that close proximity to them, or perceived proximity to them, which is what everyone's craving now. And anyone leaning into that from an e-commerce perspective, from a personal brand perspective, will win. And if you're not getting on board with that, in some way, shape or form, you will lose. I predict, and with, for example, Shopify, soon you'll be going onto Apple's website. You'll be going onto even smaller companies. And when you go to a product page, there'll be a live stream with someone on it. And there'll be companies that will basically rent out live streamers that are trained to sell this product. And it will be 24/7 shop. And there'll be live streaming studios. That's the way it's all going to shift.
It's like the comeback of teleshopping.
QVC will be, and that's why it works so well, but this is much more interactive. But yeah, personal brands need to be behind it. And that's why raw vlogs and that real uncut stuff works, because you get that, it's that close touch to things where we live in a world now where nobody trusts anybody.
Yeah.
And having that ability to go live brings the ability for people to feel close and more trusting of that brand. Because it's hard to live for 6, you can still do it, but when you're on a live for 6 or 7 hours, you're seeing everything.
Yeah. I guess it's the closest you're going to get to the authentic or the authenticity of that person, right?
So the play with the internet's always been, how can I take something digital and manipulate it in a way that creates as close to a physical touch point? So when I first started, to give an example, when I first started building e-commerce stores back in the day, something as little as having a widget with like a live chat, but with a person's face on it. It anchors, and when I first started, no one put faces on websites. And I was like, that's a massive mistake because it feels cold. So subconsciously, when you see a face, you just have an instant connection to it. Technology's now got to a place where we can go live. So how do I utilize technology such that I can create the closest bond possible to my audience and build trust? We live in what's I class as the trust recession now. There is so much option and opportunity out there for potential buyers, either of personal brands or products or services. Why should I buy from you? Well, it comes down to the trust. Okay, how can I build trust at scale? 1 to many going live.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. Like these podcasts will soon have to be fully live. They won't touch anybody unless they're going live. That's that everything will be live. So then it's a skill set people will have to get used to because it's bloody hard.
Yeah.
Because you are live. There is no up. Like if you say something, it's out there for everybody. But that's why people like it, because they are sick of all the engineered crap they're seeing, especially with AI coming out as well. So that's going to even become more of a play. How can we humanize things when we don't know what to trust or see or believe that's real anymore?
Even the abandoned cart AI bots that you're using, it comes back to the same philosophy. You're using what appears to be a real person on WhatsApp to try and convert these people. Why did you not check out? Did you have difficulties? Was there a problem? Would you like it in red? We've got this in your size. And honestly, it's unbelievable. And the average person would not understand that that's AI.
So with that in mind, when you want to artificially make it look like it's human rather than a live stream, we have AI, which is, think about AI. Everything up till now has been really bots, not agentic AI. Bots is a code that's been pre-programmed to respond a certain way, whereas an agentic AI will have an objective and will figure its own way to get there. So you won't say, if they say this, say this. If they say this, say this. You say, make this person like you, be friendly, and it will figure it out on its own with obviously the criteria of what you put into it. So I have been developing AI that does this for both e-commerce businesses and service-based businesses. So that when you go through an e-commerce journey, you're being communicated with via SMS, phone call, WhatsApp, email, with an agentic AI that looks like it's human, being able to give you the advice at scale. So if you've got 100,000 people on your site, you can have 100,000 conversations at the same time across multiple platforms.
Yeah.
It can help you recommend products to you, nurture you.
And remarket.
And remarket to you, which is now why we have a massive uplift. So I'm using both social shopping, AI in combination together with e-com to make tremendous uptakes. And this is why now I can go to an e-com business and say, hey, you're doing 50K a month. I know they haven't implemented these tools. So I can now get this company, for me, undervalued. Whereas before it wouldn't be undervalued because I didn't have the tech to bring in. And they go, well, you got this, this, and this. I'm like, here's my track record. I want 25, I want 50% for this amount, or actually just make me a partner because I'm going to do this to you.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think it's something that is missing quite significantly in e-commerce at the moment, because even, I'll review some of the emails that we get back for my brand, and people are like, I cannot believe that I'm actually getting this level of interaction from someone through customer support. They're generally overwhelmed that someone's taken the time to really read their message, talk to them, because my VA is trained on that. It's not all AI, but clearly that's something that's missing.
Just come in. 10 young VA have 500 simultaneous conversations across multiple platforms and remember everything that they said, and then come back in 2 years' time and remember that Frank had a dog called Sarah that fell out the tree yesterday.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, how's your cat?
Yeah. No, of course. But the fact that people are even saying that back to her, to my VA, shows how much of a void there is in e-commerce of people actually getting any kind of support, let alone nurturing and hand-holding through the buying process. Like we're saying, you said it earlier, a trust recession. I think that's also, most people are happy to buy things online, but even still, people like to do their research, to read reviews. So if you've got someone there physically talking you through to put any of those doubts or fears or objections you've got at bay and allow you to continue to purchase, you just remove.
So you're great at e-commerce. You're an e-commerce mentor. You have people that, you consult, and you have your own e-commerce businesses. Why'd you do the podcast?
The podcast for me, because I just genuinely enjoy talking to people.
What do you think it does for your brand?
Okay, if we're to talk about it more as a business,
Yes.
it's top of funnel. It allows more people to learn more about me, see long form, understand a bit more about what I do, and then potentially decide whether or not they want to work with me.
So long form up until recently has been the best form of media to be able to build authentic trust, because you sitting down for an hour, 2 hours, multiple times a month, gives people depth to you and your character that you can't see from a 30-second out of context reel. So you doing this is a very powerful play. And then the addition of the extension of that will be live, but then also with the back end of AI, which can handle all of the conversations for you. Yeah. So you can spend more time on camera and less time on the back end, which then has a synergy that just explodes.
Yeah.
Personal brands, service-based business, e-commerce businesses. The strategy works across the board. And it literally just comes down to trust building. Everything comes down to trust. And also, we are so busy, and look, and there's no excuse. Small business and medium-sized businesses, we have a tremendous amount on our plate when it comes to growing. And I always look at businesses up to about the 5 million a year mark struggle with this, because you get a really typically good CEO that has dragged the company up to 5 million. 3 to 5 mil seems to be the sticky point. And they haven't found the technology or the ability or the funds to delegate enough to get them out to the next stage. And that's because we have customer service, you're being an entrepreneur, you're doing product development, you're overseeing fulfillment, you're doing everything, wearing all the caps. And finally, we have a technology that's enabling these entrepreneurs to actually put in a system that takes a lot of that out of the way, so they can actually go to the next level and they can feel more comfortable maybe raising finance or putting more of their own money in or time, or hiring that guy that's 100K a year, which is what's needed to effectively clone new income into the business, because you have tech doing all of the back end.
Mm.
We've got this whole next dimension now, not just the AI to service and upsell and stuff actually being found. So the search of behaviors and patterns and trends of customers is now changing. We're becoming a generation that ask. So where historically we would just go on Google and type in red suit, now we'd go on what suit's best going to fit me. And this is where OpenAI is really understanding.
Well, even better yet, you take a photo of yourself and then say which ones.
You can put on a suit and try it on. Like, you can use Gemini now, and you can do literally anything. And Chat have brought out their own browser called Atlas. We'll talk about it earlier. That's going to go to paid. They've just hired several hundred people from Meta. So there's now going to be a whole new addition and a way to generate traffic. And that traffic's going to become very cheap initially. And like Meta ads, it's just going to become increasingly expensive. But that combined with the actual AI that Elliot's doing now, your potential.
I haven't told you this yet, but we've just rolled out one of our ad services. So we now have our Wise AI software, which will overlay itself in Facebook Ads Manager. So let's say, for example, we have e-commerce, or let's say, for example, your mentorship service, and you're running ads for that. All of your funnel will be shown overlaying on your Facebook ads. So you can see all of the ads that are attributing to those conversions. And you can set up any level of conversions you want: opt-ins, contact, purchases, upsells, whatever. That's all overlaid. Then you click on it and it will show you the exact customers that clicked on that ad. So you can now take a customer who clicked on that ad and did and didn't perform certain things in the funnel, and then through our AI can run remarketing campaigns, which at a click of a button, it will make the ad, build the funnel, and implement it all, optimized based on all of those results. And then imagine this: you've got 100 ads, all of which have had different levels of conversion, but now we know every single customer and where they have come in from and what ad they've come in from, so you can resell to them differently based on what they've clicked and what they haven't done. And the AI will do that all synergistically for you. And now we've plugged it into graphic and video editors and funnel builders, so that we'll be the first company that you'll be able to click a button and build a funnel for you, and then put a sales agent on the back of it.
It's just completely hands-off autopilot.
Changes everything.
Yeah.
Like every media buyer, everything goes out the window. It's gone. So that's going to be a game changer. But the thing is, there's going to be an arbitrage window of maybe a year, 2 years, don't know how long it'll be, where people that are utilizing this software are going to fucking crush.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to make ungodly amounts of money. And then the market will plateau, and then advertising spend and everything will become, in line with break even.
Yeah.
because everyone will have to adopt.
And this is what happened with FBA, wasn't it, originally? And dropshipping.
Yeah.
It's the same sort of thing. There's going to be a window. It's exciting, honestly, like to have this excitement in e-commerce again.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened since, I don't think since Meta ads come out in reality.
Things are changing very fast.
But you've got a lot of experienced people that have access to this now. So I think the game's going to get hard on the people that are good at this shit.
You won't need many experienced people having their hands on it because they'll take most of the market. So there won't be the same level of breadth of e-commerce owners. You'll have guys buying up e-commerce businesses that are owning a lot because they have the technologies and
To
leverage,
scale them up.
which is the exciting part. So take over time.
Yeah, yeah. I think, I can't remember, someone else told me a similar thing that, I can't remember, maybe I just heard it in passing on like a podcast or something, that is naturally what will happen. There'll just be a few companies that understand the dynamics and just have big systems that they can implement and just kind of take over and dominate.
I think that's a long way off. I think what you're going to get, so the way I see it working is you're going to have developers. So I've done development and we have software. So the software, so the Wise AR software, which is sales agents and funnels and receptionists, but also with the ad tracking, everything integrated. That's for e-commerce and service-based businesses. Now, that's one thing. And yes, we have that developed because I have control over it. I also am not naive enough to think that I want to put all my eggs in that one basket. I'm still also using other AI softwares in conjunction with this because I know that there's going to be you're in the AI race right now. There's new AI popping out every day. Meta could produce something tomorrow which just dominates everything else. But as long as I'm the one dominating, and more importantly, know how to integrate it. So the next big play for entrepreneurs will not be building businesses, it will be integrating AI into existing businesses, the SMEs, not the big corporates because they'll already have development budgets for AI. So they'll have in-house teams. So your Apples, your big FTSE companies, your index companies, they'll all have their internal. But your 0 to 9-figure companies all will be looking to outsource it because it's not efficient for them to develop their own software. Plus, like I said, they know that the software might change in the next year or two, so they don't want to get married to any one system that they've developed in-house. So you'll get kids coming out of university right now that know how to, or preferably not going to university, learning how to just integrate AI into a business, create the automations between different AI software, and they'll be able to chop tons of staff off, increase their margins, drastically decrease their headaches because they've all of a sudden got more time brought back, and really improve those businesses' life. And they'll be able to make guarantees. So that's the play. And you don't need to understand the AI itself. It's like I always use like aircon as an example. I'm like, you don't need to understand how it makes the room cold, just the fact that the room gets cold. And if you can tell a business owner that this room is now going to be cold, they'll just hire it because they want a cold room. So you don't need to understand the AI, they want the result.
Yeah, powerful. Yeah, definitely having heard what you've been working on and where things are going, it's definitely eye-opening. You know, I guess you kind of know what's going on, but you don't know fully like the capabilities of some of these things until you hear people that are actively innovating and bringing it to market. And then it's kind of eye-opening. You're like, oh, okay, I need to get involved in this quick because things are going to change,
Yeah, and you got like FOMO shit from throughout history. Like you got to be fast, be fast. With this one, you do.
Yeah.
Because AI is speed.
Yeah.
So there is a window. And yeah, there'll still be businesses for the next, foreseeable, but there will be a rush on this. And if you're already in business, why wouldn't you be integrating it? Doesn't make any sense to me.
It's the next 10x, isn't it?
Yeah.
Massive opportunity.
All I see is leverage. I see the ability to increase capacity, decrease costs, and decrease staff.
Yeah.
That in itself is all you need to hear as an entrepreneur, and you're biting at it, like you're going for it.
Well, you asked me earlier why I wanted to get back into e-com and why I built my brand. I said leverage, and it's relatable in that sense. I think prior to AI, e-commerce, there was a lot of leverage. You can just throw up paid spend, or like Aaron does with SEO, and put it behind something, and you know what your return is on the back end. So to me, that's a perfect example of leverage. I put in X and I get out Y, and it's a similar thing that you're talking about here with AI. I guess the true leverage play.
Well, it all comes in any business. It's he who can advertise the most will make the most money. He who advertised the most for the longest period will win. So, as you understand with e-commerce, it all comes down to your ROAS. So you'll have a break-even ROAS which you'll spend up to, right, to get so you know what you can spend. Now, if I can come in with AI and double your ROAS, that means you can infinitely increase your spend on the front end.
Yeah.
And your LTV. So all of a sudden, you can spend a hell of a lot more than the next guy selling the exact same product as you. You will win.
And your economies of scale, you can buy more product, your costs go down.
Everything goes up.
It's a win-win.
Cash flow is everything. Yeah, the ability to be able to move quick and then reinvest that money is what's really going to catapult the growth, I guess.
I think also what Elliot, you can do is your AI agents don't just speak English, right? So you can now roll these Shopify, these e-commerce businesses worldwide.
Every language, even sub-dialects.
The scalability of this stuff
Also
now
phone
is...
calls.
Mm.
So we're the only software that does multi-channel, SMS, WhatsApp, phone, email, Instagram. We're just about to get the TikTok API because we've only just launched it, so we'll have TikTok as well added to that. It's for fan. And the AI will know all of it. If one AI will remember the conversation from one person across all platforms.
Rather than like break down exactly how it works, because you said you don't really need to know that.
I mean, I don't even know how the coding was. I understand. I know what I wanted. Let's say coders make this.
But what are the capabilities of the thing that you've built then? Because you've mentioned a few different things, but like how does it actually integrate?
So the easiest way to think about it is a sales agent / receptionist that you can program to do whatever you want. So for example, if you wanted to load in 100,000 emails that are cold and you wanted them to phone up all of them, it can. If you want them to nurture those leads for the next 2 years without selling them anything and become their best friend, you can do that. If you want to integrate it into any part of your funnel, whether it be e-commerce or service-based, it can conversate with those people providing that the lead is there. We can scrape leads and have it conversate, but that's on any platform, human as you like. Like we've developed our AI, so it is superhuman. You wouldn't know.
You can't tell. I pushed it to the limits. And it was like, can you test it? I tested it to its limits. It's honestly...
It could be if you're a plumber and you don't ever want to answer the phone. It can answer the phone, booking for you. So allocate appointments. It can reschedule appointments. It can chart, providing we have verbal commit permission and we have their card on file, we can recharge their card.
Well,
So let's say, for example, someone's bought from your Shopify store already and if they want to upsell to the triple glass pack. You up for that? Yeah, cool. Just so you know, we can charge you if you're accepting of this. Yeah, no worries. Watched, orders put in, done.
It's scary, really.
we were talking about the word earlier, trust recession. Do you think this is going to have a positive or negative impact on that, or it won't have any impact?
It will have a very positive impact. So the breaking point comes, and I realized this the other day. The moment a human would ask a human to speak to AI because the AI does a better job than the human, we win. We're now getting to a point where we have internal AIs now within our companies for training and SOPs. And for example, we've broken down our entire software and how it works. And whenever we want to ask you a question, I ask that rather than the developers, because the developers take time to get back to me. Whereas I can ask the AI and it gives me an immediate answer. I now go to the AI before I even ask the developer because the AI is better. I was like, in that moment, I realized AI wins the minute it becomes more helpful than a human. And you're in a chatbot going, are you human? No, I want an AI. Like that will actually happen because you'll be like, well, this guy's slow. He's having 300 conversations. You're on the phone to the bank and the guy's putting you on hold and dealing with a live chat at the same time, which is not getting anything done. AI doesn't have that problem. So no, I think it'll be very positive and we will start to very quickly prefer AI. And this is why there'll be AI marriages in the next 10 years and all that shit's coming. And that's going to be another wild rodeo. I won't go into that today, but yes, there will be clones. Yeah, it's already coming. People are getting married to AI. I love ChatGPT. I love ChatGPT.
Elliot Trump.
Yeah, Elliot Trump. But yes, it's going to be a wild ride. I think try to adopt it and go with the ride rather than try to fight it. Enjoy it, make money from it, and roll with the punches.
I think it's important to say it's still early.
I think otherwise you're going to be standing in the face of a tsunami trying to stay upright. Just get a surfboard.
Yeah,
Go for
ride
it.
Ride the wave, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, on that note, I guess adapt and survive, or don't adapt and get left behind. It seems, but I certainly learned a lot today about gold, about AI, about things maybe I should be doing that I'm not doing currently. So thank you for sharing that with me. It's really been enjoyable, genuinely, to catch up with you, see what's been going on, and just generally catch up, and also meet yourself, Aaron, and Alex as well earlier. So thank you both for being on the podcast today. Really, really appreciate your time. And yeah, thank you very much.